Good evening. It's good to be with you again, isn't it, Ronnie?
Yes, it is. On the show tonight, we've got the Archbishop of Canterbury playing the spoons, the Red Army Ensemble in an extract from Winnie the Pooh.
6 AC/DC electricians will be here to tell you how to put up your fairy lights.
And now, the news. In Threadneedle Street today, police doubled the guard on the Bank of England, strengthened the burglar alarm, and checked all safety mechanisms after it was discovered that the key had disappeared from under the mat.
In the Channel today, a 6-mile oil slick met a 2-mile vinegar slick, and later Boulogne Beach was covered in French dressing.
At the Albert Hall today, a vast crowd attended a conference on reincarnation. It was such a success that they plan to meet again in 200 years' time.
And at the World's Sex Championships today, the British team, Mr. and Mrs. James Field, retired. But they were easily beaten by the Swedish team, Mr. and Mrs. Johansson, who managed to retire 5 times.
Sir Matthew Pomeroy, the eminent tree surgeon, is to retire. Sir Matthew, who is 91, said, "I'm getting too old for my work. Last week I fell off one of my patients."
Finally, sport. At the badminton horse trials, Firebrand II was found guilty and put on probation for 3 years.
While at the start of the 3-day event, David Broom and his horse were stung by a swarm of wasps, which caused him to fall at the 4th fence. The horse went on to win the 2:15 at Redcar and the 3 o'clock at Thursday. David Broom himself won the long jump at White City and created a new European record for throwing the jodhpurs.
And later in the afternoon, a man was arrested for seducing a young lady at the water jump. He asked for 17 other fences to be taken into consideration. And now it's time for a sketch.
Yes, see what you make of it, and if you don't know what to make of it, write to us and we'll send you a pattern.
Hello, Ted.
Hello, Jack.
I didn't see you on the train.
No, I was at the other end today.
Thought it wouldn't be like you to miss it.
No, never have done up to now. No, I saw you, but I couldn't reach you. I saw you get on. Damn non-corridor trains.
I know. Cold today, isn't it?
It is. It is cold, yes. Very cold.
How long are we going to have to wait for this connection?
Oh, about 10 minutes, I suppose, if it's on time. We must try to get into a carriage near the engine in the wall.
Yes.
Well, how the stock market been going today?
Well, pretty lively, actually. Everything's coming down, you know.
Yeah. Well, it's inevitable, isn't it, really? Inevitable.
Yes. People just haven't got the money to play with these days, have they? Not the tax system as it is in this country. I mean, they'd have the shirt off your back.
Yes. Well, I've certainly got very little to spare these days, you know. Oh, yes. I mean, I find it difficult to make ends meet, you know.
Yeah.
Of course, my wife's no help, you know. Always rushing out and buying some ridiculous item of clothing.
Just like a woman, that, isn't it? Well, it's my daughter that's getting me down. I mean, she's never out of boutiques. She spends an absolute fortune. Takes no notice of me at all. Yeah. Does exactly as she thinks fit. Yeah. And I mean, no one would ever believe I was the man of the house.
Yeah. Well, it's the modern generation, you see, Jack. That's the trouble. They won't be told anything, will they? They simply do things for kicks nowadays, in my opinion. There we are.
Right.
I say, zip me up, would you?
Yes. It's not as if my daughter's been starved of affection in any way. I mean, I've been like a father to her, really.
Yeah, right, yeah.
But I mean, she does worry the life out of me, honestly, because she stays out till all hours at night, you know. And quite frankly, there are some very odd people about these days.
Still, I suppose we were considered rather odd when we were kids, weren't we?
Yes, I suppose so. I suppose we must appear. Rather dull and staid, going about our business in the normal manner. Yeah. Up to the city in the train, day in, day out. I suppose our lives must appear pretty colourless. Yeah.
Well, I think I'm about ready, are you?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. It's a bit of a nuisance, all this, isn't it?
Yes. Still, we live in hopes. Perhaps one day they'll build a gentleman's lavatory on this station.
Yeah.
Who can take a sunrise, sprinkle it with dew, cover it in chocolate, add a miracle or two? My candy man, hey, my candy man can. My candy man can, 'cause he mixes it with love to make the world taste good, yeah. Now who can take a rainbow, dip it in a sigh, soak it in the sun and make a groovy lemon pie? My candy man, hey, my candy man can. My candy man can, 'cause she mixes it with love to make the whole world taste real good. My candy man makes everything he makes satisfying and delicious. Talk about your childhood wishes, you can even eat the dishes, yeah. Now who can take tomorrow, dip it in a dream, take away the sorrow and collect up all the cream? My candy man, yeah, my candy man can. My candy man can, 'cause he mixes it with love to make the whole world taste real good. Look at here, my candy man makes everything he makes satisfying and so delicious. You talk about your childhood wishes, honey, you can even eat the dishes. Who can take tomorrow, dip it in a dream, take away the sorrow and collect up all the cream? My candy man can, yeah, my candy man can. My candy man can, 'cause he mixes it with love to make the world taste good. And the world tastes good, 'cause my candy man thinks it should.
Good evening. Good evening. I brought the person you expected to see here tonight. Oh, no. Actually, he, Sir Hector, has been on a leaderboard void in Amsterdam. No. And I have stepped into his breach, as it were, very short indeed. I've come from a hell of a party. Party conference. Where we thrashed out several important people, including no less a man than the shadow of your smile. So, good evening. And I hope you're having one. And if you are having one, tally ho. What? Moreover, surely all thinking men must think, I think, that what Britain needs at this moment in our history is Scotch broth 16p. But there are two sides to this. I've just been handed a communion which says, and I quote, "Pull yourself together." There's a nose behind your ear. A nose behind your ear. I think, in a sense, there's a nose behind everybody's ear. And I'm not talking through the back of my neck when I say it. Isn't that the recipe for the ideal politician? A nose behind his ear. He can sniff the wind, listen to his nose, and, of course, smell his ear. Precisely. Some people say, oh, yes, it's easy for him to sit up there. It's not, I assure you. It's damn difficult. Prices, you see. Prices. I mean, look at that. Knickerbocker bacon. This used to cost a mere 1967. And now, in the year of grace, £1.40p. I mean, just look at it. It's repulsive. Our position is, and has always been, there's a shoe in my pocket. I think you'll agree this shoe says it all. What this country needs, and I'm speaking off the cuff, is strict discipline, Rita, evenings after 6. She'd soon put Britain back on his knees, on his feet. Point 3, bacon. Bacon. The GCE. Are we to go round and round and round Europe, cap in hand, tail in hand, and cap between our legs? Finishing up where we started. What about Brussels? They're 18p now. See, some of us may wish our entry into Europe had been unavailably decided. When Herr so-called Brandt can say to a British Foreign Secretary, first, hello, room service. I ordered 2 black coffees of the Daily Telegraph. You send up what? I like to leave it with this thought. Get off, you drunken fool. And I think that says it all. Good night, and listen to you for thanking. Good night.
Once again, our podgy and intrepid hero, Piggy Malone, and his slightly more trepid assistant, Charlie Farley, pictured here, had managed to be in the right place at the wrong time, and another murder had been committed behind their backs. The latest victim, Dr. Grist, had apparently died of an overdose of love, according to a note pinned to his pajama trousers. Malone and Charlie checked through the facts carefully next morning, while tucking into bacon and sausages, trying desperately to digest them.
Fact 1, there have been 4 people murdered since we arrived here 4 days ago.
Right, Chief.
Fact 2, we haven't found any clues at all yet.
Right.
Fact 3, there are 5 more people left.
Right.
Therefore, question, was I silly to get a weekly return? Would I have been better off for the monthly?
It's a little bit of a pessimistic attitude, Chief. I mean, sooner or later we're bound to find him.
Or her.
Huh?
It could be a her.
You mean he could be a woman in disguise?
Not him. The murderer. Could be a her.
What?
Yes, sir?
I'd like a word with you, my good man.
Yes, sir?
As you may know, 4 people have been murdered in this vicinity recently.
I had heard, sir.
Doesn't that strike you as odd?
No, sir.
Oh, he doesn't, eh?
No, sir.
Come on, Pike, what are you trying to hide?
A bit of bacon, sir. Get my breakfast.
Come on, Pike. You were jealous of the doctor. Admit it. Wouldn't you like to get your hands on him?
No, sir.
What about Blanche, Miss Brimstone?
Oh, yes, I'd like to get my hands on her, sir.
He means she wanted to get her hands on him.
And your hands will be on her as soon as her hands were on the money.
Isn't that right?
I'm confused. I don't know whose hands are on what now, sir.
All right. You can go.
Yes, sir.
Pike, just one more thing.
Yes, sir?
Would it be possible to have another sausage?
Certainly, sir. I'll tell you one thing, sir. Hairy Jack knows.
What's that?
It's a sausage, sir.
I mean, what did you say to him?
He said Harry. Who's Harry Jack?
That's more than my job's worth.
What is your job worth?
£2,500 a year, sir.
Yeah, that's not bad, is it?
Was that all found?
Morning.
Morning. Ah, I'm starving. How did the grapefruits look this morning?
Very nice indeed.
Oh, dear.
Miss Brimstone, Harry Jack mean anything to you at all?
Harry Jack, yes. He lives all alone in the old fisherman's cottage on the cliff.
All alone, eh? Odd.
What's odd about it?
Well, why would he live in an old fisherman's cottage?
He's an old fisherman. I'll take you to see him if you like. I'd quite like a day on the beach.
This chance remark from the beautifully proportioned Blanche, which seemed insignificant at the time, was to come to mean even less in the ensuing pattern of events. Piggy Malone, unable to resist the idea of Blanche in a bikini, had decided to give Charlie the important task of questioning Harry Jack, whilst he himself remained on the beach to keep an eye on, as he put it, our principal witness. Meanwhile, Charlie Farley, a man who had once played wing three-quarter for the England darts team, found himself in the unlikely situation of introducing himself to a man he had never even met, Hairy Jack.
Now then, Jack, I want you to tell me in your very own words exactly what you know of all the murders. No. Just a minute. I've got to check, see if this is going right. Hello. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, Mary at the cottage gate. 1, 2, 3, 4, Mary at the cottage gate. Go. England, boom, boom, boom. England, boom, boom, boom. England, boom, boom, boom. Right. Now, let's see if that's recorded all right. No, it hasn't. Never mind. Sorry, Jack. Shan't be a minute.
But even an innocent frolic on the beach did not escape the eagle eye of the sinister gardeners. Ever present, ever watchful, and for the most part, permanently intoxicated.
It's brand new, this. Should work. Fell off the back of a lorry. Now, let's go on. Tape recorder. Mains or battery. Not plugged into the mains, therefore should work off the battery. Not working? Why not? Answer. No batteries. Correct. I shall have to plug it into the mains. That wall light will do. Oh, you've got gas lighting. Oh, this won't work. Probably need a special adapter for that. Never mind, I'll think of something. There we are. Finally working. Now, tell us all you know.
Well, there's Mark Bush and the police. We all met in that football stadium. But the notice on the police, come on, they would go. It all looked like they come up from nowhere.
Miss Blanche! Miss Blanche! Miss Blanche, quick, come round to the vegetable garden.
I've already told you, Pike, it's all over between us.
No, Miss Blanche, not that. It's the gardeners. Oh, it's terrible! Terrible!
What's that?
Oh, Harry Jack gave it to me. What's happened?
Oh, it's terrible!
Well, come on then.
Wait for me, then. Oh, murdered. Buried alive. Where's Malone?
Only Blanche knew the answer to that question. Had she deliberately left him there to die? What was the significance of the seagull? Would Malone get the message? The fish that old Jack had given to Charlie, was it a red herring? One thing was certain. There would be very little sleep for anyone that night.
take you. Listen to the melody. Let the music take you. Listen to the melody. Let the music take you. Our love is always in the air. Our love is always everywhere. So people, just let us stick together, because our love is everywhere. Listen to the melody. I want you to be there. Just let me be there and listen to the melody. Let the music take you. Listen. We could be in the harmony. The music take you. Listen to the melody. We could be a symphony. Take you. Listen to the melody. 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 Listen to the melody.
Thank you very much, Georgie and Alan. Before I begin, I would just like to say thank you to all those viewers who sent in goodwill messages when we moved into our new house recently. These letters have come from all over the place, you know. Look at the postmark on that one, Luton. I didn't know they had television in Luton. And here's one all the way from Slough. Anybody want the stamp? Now, I must be honest when I say that we seem to have overcome all our teething troubles in the new house, you know. I bought the kiddies a penguin last week. I was going to buy them a pussycat, but the living room is still very damp. And if I can keep them away from picture books and other children, they'll never know the difference. Anyway, he's doing a grand job. Feel free, please. Anyway, the penguin is doing a grand job, and we haven't seen a fish since we got him. Yes, we are getting a bit organised. I mean, there's an old chap from down the road, comes and amuses himself for an hour or so in the garden every morning. And we've seen the police about him. Now, the fellow who bought the house... That's the sort of stuff you like, is it? The fellow who bought the house next door had a bit of bad luck. I must be honest, he had a bit of bad luck. He was banging a for sale notice in and the house fell down. Actually, I had an idea there was something wrong with that house when I heard the chap who was painting the back door was getting danger money. Anyway, I had a chat with Mr. Mafia. That's the builder. Not the chap whose house fell down. He doesn't say much at all. A bit of a shock, really. The last I heard of him was he was trying to join the Brownies. So as I say, I had a chat with the builder. I say a chat. Actually, we were shouting through the letterbox at each other because we couldn't get the front door open. Now, I happened to mention this to him, and he said, it's your own fault. You shouldn't have closed it. Actually, I was going to tell him about the house being haunted, but in my excitement, you know, I forgot, because it is haunted. There is definitely a ghostly apparition appears and stands at the foot of our bed every night on the stroke of midnight. Now, my wife is terrified. Me, well, I'm not worried in the least, because I don't get home till 1. But that wasn't what I was going to tell you about. What I was going to say was that I went to a party last night. Now, that may not mean a lot to you. I mean, you probably go to parties night after night. We all know about viewers, don't we? So, anyway, we're at this party. They're there, you've got to find them, they're there. Now, so we're all round at this producer's house. Now, the producer's house, not this producer's, the actual producer, not any producer, this particular producer. Terence. We're all round at Terence's house. Terence, you know, just his friends and a few extras from the agency to fill the place up a bit. Anyway, we're having an absolutely great time. I am standing there with a glass of wine, a cigar, and the Daily Mirror. And another couple of guests, are dancing to a recording of a speech by Sir Winston Churchill. Now, the producer's wife, Maggie, is circulating among the guests, trying to sell souvenir pictures of her wedding night. So, right. Now, the party is just going along You've got the picture, have you? Well, not the picture, I hope, but anyway, you've got the picture. The party is just going along nicely because his parties can be a bit dreary. I remember the last one. A light bulb blew out and we were still laughing about it 2 hours later. Now, while I was standing there, it suddenly struck me that it was 15 years to the day at just such an occasion that I met my first love, Mrs. Wilkinson. She was a widow. Her husband drove the last tram out of Lime Street, was never heard of again. I remember we got talking and I found that we had something in common. We were both drunk. Anyway, we finished up at her place and she said to me, why don't you make yourself comfortable? You know, a bit more comfortable. Make yourself comfortable and take your clothes off. Oh, I thought, well, it seemed a good idea at the time. She said, I won't be a minute, and she popped out, you see. So I took off my clothes and I was just standing there pouring myself a drink when in she comes again with her 3 children. And she says, now look, that's what you'll look like if you don't eat your greens.
Tomorrow night, drama returns to BBC television with a new series of plays for tomorrow. Viewers are warned that some of the dialogue in the first play is extremely outspoken, dealing as it does with the passionate love affair of Charles Wheeler and Alive. The first in the new series tomorrow night is Lady Windermere's...
Good morning, Cyril. Have you... today?
No, I'm afraid I had to... the old... myself.
Oh, good. Did Cecilia and you... well?
Oh, yes, beautifully. Mind you, we had a terrific... during the night.
Oh, really? I thought Cecilia couldn't.
Oh, yes, she gives you a wonderful...
Oh, really? I'd heard she'd caught...
Oh, it's got around, has it? Here comes the vicar with his new...
Has anyone seen my...
She's my... as well as yours, you know. Have you seen her, Charles?
Oh, why me? Why me? Why should I have seen your little...
You're hiding something. Listen, if she's lost her... you can say goodbye to your...
Very well, then, if you must know, I love her. I love her with all my...
Just a minute. I can see her sticking out behind the curtain.
Well, I'll be...
Tomorrow night on BBC One, Lady Windermere's...
Good evening, and thank you. And may I say how wonderful it is to be in your terrible country. My name is Kharkov, and for a start off, I would like to ring up the Iron Curtain by introducing you to my gentleman friend, Vladimir Pestov. You are Pestov?
No, I like it here.
That is good. My friend here is a little defective. He has defected to the West and has asked to go in the political asylum.
The House of Commons.
That's the one, yeah. Well, now we are singing for your first song, which, as always, is our vulgar boating song. Thank you, please.
Yo-hee-ho, pull once more. We must reach that far sandy shore.
Sandy shore, sandy shore. Let's all try and pull sandy shore.
We'll be happy when we reach those shores.
All we need is a couple of oars. Ivan and Boris,
Elsie and Doris, waters splashing, yo-hee-ho.
pull once more. Pull like steam.
but don't pull the plug or the boat will sink. We don't carry life belts and we're glad we haven't got 'em.
A sailor's not a sailor till he's been on the bottom.
I'm getting heavier, eating too much caviar.
Like an Irish caviar, all is will go.
My name is Vladimir, and when I was a kid, I came from Vladivostok, and I'm bloody glad I did.
Waves they are calling, rising and falling, up and down and to and fro, rising and falling. I feel appalling. I think I'm about to heave. Thank you. Now, as a final, we would like to finish you off with one of your own folk tunes, Green Gro de Rashes O, which we have adapted for ourselves. And here is my gentleman friend to say good night.
Hello. And thank you for letting me wish you a good night.
Thank you for letting us put up with you, and thank you for putting us up for the very good night. Thank you, please. I'll sing you one,
What is your one?
One is one and all alone, and that is greater garbo.
I'll sing you two.
What is your two?
Two for women's lib, now they burn their bras.
And they'll turn white in the middle of the night if you cover them with blanco. I'll sing you trio.
What is your trio?
3P for the rotten cup of tea. Two for women's lib, and now they burnt their bras.
And they'll go brown when the sun goes down if you hang them out the window. I'll sing you 4-0.
5, 6, and 7,
What is your 7-0?
7 for the 7 deadly sins and 6 for the comb in market.
5 pence a mile to drive your car and 4 pounds 10 to park it.
3 for a rotten cup of tea. 2 for women's lib, now they burnt their bras. Oh, my wife Yvonne should keep her son, she's built like a commando.
And Dad, she's a flop with a double top, but she's got a full house for a bingo.
One is one and all alone and never more shall be.
Well, that's all for this week. Thank you for joining us. But before we go, here is a late weather report. Strong westerly winds cover the whole country today. A man who ran out of petrol on the M4 near Bristol reached Reading before he found out. And confetti thrown at a wedding couple in West Hartlepool covered a wedding couple in East Hartlepool. But despite the winds, the Torquay regatta went on at Brighton, Dover, and eventually Antwerp. And the free fall parachute display in Liverpool was watched by a large crowd in Leeds.
And a man who swallowed a barometer was admitted to Wandsworth Hospital tonight. His condition was described as set fair, stormy later.
And there's reassuring news about the plague of flies which hit Bradford early today. It's been discovered that it was due to an explosion in a trouser button factory.
And finally, a Bournemouth woman who got carried away last January during a game of postman's knock has just had a special delivery. And so, it's good night from me.
And it's good night from him. Good night.
Good night.